Ball. Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, another episode of The Final Word. This one covering probably our worst loss of the season, maybe you could argue even more so than the 5-0 drubbing against Arsenal, just because of the significance of it. Relegation, 6-pointer, go to Burnley, you're expecting, to at least get something from the game and the performance, although, as Farker put it, all the stats were in Leeds United's favour. I felt like it could have been a month of Sundays before we'd have actually found the back of the net. I've seen some crazy stats. The most crosses by a Premier League team this season. We've got the worst conversion rate in terms of big chances at just 17.3%. So it's not as if this is where I don't know where the lads are. I'm just going to set my stall out. This is where I think criticisms needs to more so be on the players. I know that's not fashionable. Some may want to criticise Farker, and it's an open forum. You can do that. I just feel that if we're getting in the right areas where we're able to create these big chances, he can't fucking kick the ball into the back of the net himself. I also feel he's been let down with the recruitment, because when I look at that front three, it's not good enough, lads. I genuinely don't think it is. Over the course of the season, if that was to be our front three, we'd be in big trouble. We need Okafor back. We need, Nonto. We need James. We need the January window, truth be told. I'm an advocate of Aronson and Harrison. I feel they get a bit of an unfair shake at times. It's just my opinion. But that doesn't mean I expect them or want them to be starting week in, week out for Leeds United in the Prem. There's conversations about maybe the midfield as well, in terms of during that game, you could see for me that we didn't need that much defensive solidity, if that makes sense. We were on top. So could we have changed something in there? Could we have maybe brought in Pirro sooner? I'm not too sure. It's just when we're on top in games and we're not playing one of the big boys, I don't know if that three-man midfield is needed or is as pivotal as it is against, better opposition. But again, I can't help but come away and say, but who can he change it to? Who can he bring in? What can we change? I just feel it's been a lack of recruitment, and that's where my head's at with it. But like I say, it's not good. But that game will not define our season. I think Farker was right when he said we didn't beat them last year. We still won the league. Sunderland lost to them a couple of weeks back at their ground, but then have just gone on a mad run. So I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility that we can do that. Obviously, the West Ham game now is massive. They play Brentford tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Not only that, it's a bonus for us that they play tonight. It's less turnaround for them, and then they've got to come to Ellen Road on Friday. So, we need to be ready for that. But I am interested to get your lads' take. So, Luke, I'll come to you first and foremost, mate. I've said what I've said. Where's your head at with it all? What do you reckon after the weekend?
I'm not in panic stations just yet, Joe. I'm disappointed with the result, not necessarily the performance. I don't think we deserve to lose that game 2-0. And I'm not naive. I'm no fool. I understand that you only win games by scoring goals. However, I just don't feel like. I mean, with the full squad, we'd have beaten them comfortably. Okafor slots home, probably. Harrison's chance, non-tour Dan James probably finish, Aronson's chance, and on another day, Bogle, it's the onion bag with his chance as well. So I mean, I'm disappointed, Joe, more in the result than the performance. I think there was one or two lazy performances or laboured performances out of the squad, but I'm certainly not blaming Daniel Farke. The statistics back up the fact that we are not playing bad football and that we are creating plenty of chances, and the players are letting him down, unfortunately. And had we put the ball in the back of the net as easily as they did, we'd be having a very, very different conversation today. And we'd have been, talking about being in mid-table on 11 points or whatever it is. So I'm not sort of lighting the torch just yet and starting to sort of hunt for people's heads. I completely agree. In an ideal situation, you don't want Jack Harrison and Brendan Harrington starting a game with each other because they're too negative. Neither of them really take the man on, but they each offer something. I do agree, but probably from the bench or something in games that we're already winning, or they're not going to come on and they're not going to change a game for you. That Jack Harrison of Bielsa is not anymore. We're not going to get those levels of performances out of him that we saw against Newcastle when he got his hat-trick and other games. So forget that. What we are going to get is hard-working wingers that will defend and probably not create a lot, which we have seen from them both. So I'm not sure I'm going to sit here and single out any particular players. I think we all know who was relatively poor in that performance and who potentially we should see maybe get taken out of the firing line for West Ham on Friday. I'm not panicking. I still believe Daniel Farke is getting the best out of this squad. I don't think there's any other managers that create that many chances. I don't know if you saw Johnny Cooper's post. I've got it up here. Across the last 3 Premier League match days, 3 teams with the best shot difference, shots minus versus shots faced, are Arsenal, Man City, and ourselves. Arsenal and Man City have both got 9 points. We've got 1 and minus 3 goal difference. That's not on Daniel.
No, it's not. You're right. It's the final third, isn't it? It's the personnel, man. It's the personnel. And we could say, well, he's got to find a way. He has got to find a way, but you can't put the fucking ball in the net himself.
You can only piss with the dick you've got. You can't. You can only play with. That's a smarty quote. But you can, and we're expecting players that haven't done it in the Premier League, that haven't scored regularly in the Premier League, to start scoring in the Premier League. I think we're right. I think we have probably been let down with recruitment. And had Harry Wilson had any of those 3 chances, I would have backed him 99% times out of 100 to score them.
Yeah. No, I can't disagree with you, mate. Jacob, you were at the ground. I know you drowned your sorrows. No, were you at the ground? No, you weren't.
No, not this weekend, mate. I couldn't get a ticket, to be fair. It's this new ballot system, isn't it? It seems to be not easy to get. Well, not all. I've not done any this year. But it was just flat. Like, it's proper depressing. It's one of them which I feel like you carry into the week. I still feel a bit shit this morning. Just not good enough. Like, it's the definitely most frustrating loss of the season. I think coming off that, what seemed to, although we didn't get the points to reflect it, it felt like a good run of form in those 3 games with Fulham, Bournemouth and Spurs. You felt like coming into this game, we certainly had a chance and really we're looking to get 3 points. But I think it's, like Luke mentioned, I think it's probably a recruitment and squad issue more than all. If you have your full fit team there, I have no doubt that we'd have probably won or at least got a point. But it's just that conversion rate. It's just like it's painfully poor. And it's easy to look at Harrison and Aronson, which naturally Leeds fans they need a scapegoat, so it's easy to pull them 2 out. And I certainly am Brendan or Jack Harrison's favourite fan. But it's a full team effort, and we had plenty of chances across the full day. And I really think there's only one player who really had a decent game in Gudmundsson. I think the rest of them were just pretty like below average. So it's easy to pick one name out, be it the manager, be it the pair of wingers. But actually, as a full squad, I think they need to be pretty disappointed with the performance on Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, Darren, I'll come to you. My thing on Sunday was like, they were just shit. Like everywhere across the park, they were just shit, right? It wasn't a tactical thing. It wasn't. Everyone had an off day, it felt, man.
Yeah, and I agree with the two boys. I think the two boys have got a spot on, especially when Luke said as well, it's more the result rather than the performance, because we did have the chances to score. And again, it's been Leeds United from Bournemouth, Spurs, just not taking our opportunities when they're presented to us. Like the Aronson one, like Aronson's getting a bit on line, but I don't see Bogle getting as much heat for his one. You could argue the Bogle one, that was probably more of a chance that he should have scored. But yeah, it's kind of exactly what the boys said. We just haven't been taking our opportunities when presented. And look at Daniel Farke's getting a lot of heat, and I'm sure you boys are getting it in your chat as well. Like I've been bombarded today with comments of Farke out, change it now, and it blows my mind that there's that much hate going on to the manager at the minute when all the stats are there. And Luke's called someone him out that, you know, we're up there with the big teams and we're just not converting them chances. And when that goes hand in hand with start leaking a couple of goals, like 6 in the last 3 games, ultimately you're going to lose football matches. And yeah, you said at the start of the show as well, Joe, that's probably the worst loss of the season. I'd even say over Arsenal, because this is the games you expect to pick up a couple of points. Even if you go down there and pick up a point, you roll on to the next one. And I think it's probably in the back of everyone's head. You look forward to December, and that December period we know was going to be really tough. So everyone was kind of saying before going into this game that this batch of the next 4 or 5 games are where Legion are going to have to pick up a couple of points, because it's going to be a rough enough December. So when you lose the first one of them 5, naturally there's going to be a meltdown and back-to-back defeats. But the signs are there, are positive. It's not like we're not creating chances. The only thing that I would like to see a little bit more of, I'd like to see us get bodies in and around Calvert-Lewin a little bit more than what we are. I feel he's getting very isolated up there, especially against Spurs. Bournemouth, we seem to be going in around them. You've seen Aronson coming in and trying to get in behind them. Against Spurs and again against Burnley, I felt like he was very isolated up there. And when you have the likes of Harrison at times was playing very narrow and very deep, you had the same with Aronson as well. And every time the ball came up near Calvert-Lewin, it's a thankless job up there. So I would like to see maybe a change in personnel. Maybe go to the 3-5-2, get another body in around them, whether it's going to be Pirro or Meche, just for someone to play off. But ultimately, just put it down to missed chances. The performances are decent, exactly like what Jacob said. We're just not putting our chances away when we're getting them. Can't hear you, Joe.
Sorry, I'm muted because I've been coughing up my guts. One of me Oreos went down wrong hole. So, Paul, you've just joined us, mate. You rushed back. We've just been talking about obviously the performance and obviously just Leeds' lack of clinicality in front of goal, really, because we're creating chances, but not actually putting them in the in the onion bag, as it were. It's frustrating.
So it is. I walked away from that game. I say walked away. I moved away from that game, having watched it at the weekend, and was incredibly frustrated. We've had 19 shots, 4 of which were big chances. So there is obviously whilst we are sort of like phase 1 creating chances, the chances that we are creating aren't proper clear-cut gilt-edged chances. When you look at somebody like Aronson, he's got to be putting his laces through that, not side-footing it. As far as he's just got to absolutely batter it, regardless of people saying whether or not it's a good save or not. You've got, Bogle, who's usually quite reliable at putting shots away, who wasn't. You've got Harrison putting it over. You've got Rodon with headed chances that are going awry. I have issues with the selection. I have issues with Farke's inability to adapt to what he has available to him and trying to make the best out of it. If we're honest, people might agree with me, might not, but who in 2025 thought that we would be starting with Harrison and Aronson as wingers in the Premier League?
Is that Farke's fault, though?
The fact that we isn't, but he has within his remit a change that he could have made that we did in pre-season, particularly for the Burnley game, to see if it works. Look, we dominated Burnley. We absolutely dominated them. There isn't 2 ways about that. But facts of that side of things, the metrics, they don't mean anything at the end of the day unless you put the ball in the back of the net. If we won, we'd all would have been quite happy. But he had a real opportunity, for me, I think, to work a 3-5-2 on that Saturday to really try and go for it. Use Bogle, use Goodmanson as wing backs because they've shown that they're capable enough of doing it. They've both got the energy to get up and down, and then to maybe use Calvert-Lewin up top, but have, dare I say it, Perot as the person in behind him. Maybe another striker in behind him. Who knows? But for me, that game was the opportunity to do that, knowing that we're not going to have Okafor, knowing that we've not got Nonto, that we've not got Dan James, or Dan James is only realistically going to come on at half time, maybe at a push if it's really, really bad. I need to see. I know he's very wedded to this 4-3-3, which is fine. When it's working and we're winning, absolutely fine. No issues with whatsoever at all. Not got a problem with. But it's that if plan A isn't working, we'll just put all of the strikers on. And I found myself for the first time, I'm not saying Farke needs to be sacked. I'm not saying that at all. I found myself for the first time going, I'm really pissed off with Farke at this one because it seems like he's not using what's at his disposal to try and make the situation sort of better. That's just how I kind of feel about it. I just think the opportunity was there. I mean, Biol, he's played, 2 games internationally, 2 90-minute games. He's been told, or the reports are, that he's absolutely run the defences in both of those games in terms of being solid and reliable, everything, all of that. Yes, they're 0-0s, but he's doing his job, not letting goals in. That was a real opportunity to try that for me, that three-man defence.
Do you not think in a game where against Burnley, where we're looking at where you go, that's a game where we need a result? Do you think it's okay to say, I agree with you, maybe he could have worked something different with squad, but do you not think it's also maybe unfair to expect him to try effectively a new formation in Premier League in a game where we need to get those points? Do you not think that's,
had we lost playing 3-5-2, he would have been absolutely slung to the dogs.
He absolutely would have been. He's in a lose-lose situation. At the end of the day, the big story is about this is that our depth has been shown to be absolutely woeful. I think we can all be honest about that. But in a game where, let's be honest, Burnley are rubbish. They take the 3 points. They absolutely take the 3 points, and fair play to them. They did exactly what they had to do. But that was an opportunity to throw a little bit more caution to the wind. Just that's just my opinion. Just he could have. For me, there was options that he could have used a little bit better. Harrison last season, 40 games, 1 goal, 0 assists. Harrison's been in and around the relegation of the Premier League for the last 3-4 seasons now. He's good to bring on when you are closing a game out because he's done well in the games that I've seen when he's been brought on. I've got no issues with his work rate or anything like that, but in terms of creating, he's just not good enough for me. He just isn't good enough for me. That's just. But I take on board what you're saying. But Farke's going to get crucified no matter what he does. There's a section of fans out there that are there with the sword of Damocles now, ready to see him go. They all want him gone. And believe
he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. If he throws every attacker on, that's what 99% of managers would do in a losing situation. You put all your attacking. You're not going to start bringing the centre backs on and changing your goalkeeper when you need to get 2 goals in the 80th minute or whatever. So you look at almost every manager in the league would probably do something similar, from Pep right to Arteta to right down to the bottom with Scott Parker and Daniel Farke. I don't think that's necessarily. I think we've been quite unfair saying it's just a gung-ho, which is what it is, but it is also a plan B. You throw all your best attackers on to try and get a goal. That's simply what you would do. You would do that at amateur level, right up to this level.
But we have done the 3-5-2. We did it in pre-season. I
don't remember. So I do apologise.
We have the players are there to do it. Biol knows how to work in a 3, and I'm not just sitting here going Biol, but cold hard facts in terms of the last 2 games against Spurs, Struijk made a couple of errors, positional errors, and in terms of where he sent somebody, for me, that's looking at the replays. In this game, there was a toss-up between probably about 3 or 5 players for the second goal in particular.
He's not at fault for that second one.
Wait.
No, go on, Paul.
So Struijk with the silly pass out. But then you've got there is Stack, Ampadu. Ampadu's so far back, he's further back than the two central defenders.
Stack's
So
embarrassing in that situation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Stack is
He needs dropping for that alone. You know, I wouldn't play him again. Honestly,
no. I want Tanaka in.
Yeah.
Stack hasn't been very good for the last couple of games. The first goal that they score, that's Stack's man running in. Stack's not chasing him back.
Yeah.
So Rodon's going, because everybody's going, why is Rodon pointing? Surely he hits it. And when you watch the replay, why is he not following him back? We've got 6 players around the one person that the ball goes to for their second goal. It's a phenomenal goal. Let's not make any bones about it. It's a ridiculously good strike.
Sorry, I just want to jump in because this is where it's unfair, and I'll tell you why. This is where you've got, because Leeds United put the most crosses in the box than any other Premier League team have done this season on Saturday. So if you're going to sit there and say, oh, but then we don't put the balls in the box, again, come factual. If you're going to have a go at the manager, at least come with facts, because Leeds United put the ball in the box more than any other team has done this season in the Premier League. So sharpen your knives, fair enough, but sharpen them correctly, yeah? Don't be bringing them to a gunfight. Make sure you got your facts right, you know, because that's bullshit. It's unfair to say that because that's what we did do, even though they were to no avail, Damar. But yeah, listen, for me, the 3-5-2, it's everywhere at the minute. He's only wedded to 4-3-3. Again, last season it's only 4-2-3-1 he'll play. I do think we're unable to change it in the final third, which is frustrating for me. And that again is due to personnel. I don't think Strauch had done enough prior to the game to potentially come out. I've seen people blaming him for the goals on Saturday. I think you were right in saying, Paul, you know, the first one, Stack's not marking his man. Ugachukwu, easy one. Maybe should the ball have even come in? It's sod's law because Harrison stopped it going for a corner, puts it for a throw, and they get a fucking ball in anyway. And then that second one, when you actually watch that back and the urgency, I don't know what it was. They just seemed so lethargic. But again, I struggled to lay it at the manager's door, and I'm aware that I'm a big advocate of Daniel Farkas, but if you are creating chances, I don't know what more else he can do other than have better players. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we're going through a game and we're not creating anything, and our XG is terrible and all that, maybe we can say, right, well, something's not working here. Something's not working because we're not even creating clear-cut chances. We're not even, getting shots off. But the facts are, prior to the weekend, Calvert-Lewin had the most shots on target. Only 2 players have bettered him, and they're Haaland and Kuna. You know, in terms of the conversion rate's the worst in the league. If that improves slightly, then we start winning games. You know,
6% conversion rate, and we're conceding 1 in 4 on shots faced at this moment in time. When you look at it at the moment.
And that was Melior's fault, if you remember last time. we were quick to blame Melior for that. Don't get me wrong, it was his fault a lot of the time, but it just goes to prove that as a fan base, we have this view that if we're conceding 1 in 4, irrespective, Darlow's in the firing line. Surely it's Darlow's fault.
Have you seen that all over Twitter this week, though, that people are saying, no, obviously everyone's been pushing for Strauch to get dropped for Biol. But everyone's going for Darlow now as well. And I'm like, what's he done wrong? Well, honestly, what could he have done better in that game? I know he booted that ball out for a throw-in, which is like, okay, that's frustrating. But that first goal, not his fault. That second goal, no one's going to save it. Well, it's the fan base is horrible, to be fair. They always have been, like, so keen, proper horrid, so keen to jump on someone's back. I said it last time, like,
blame, yeah.
Cooper, Phillips, Bamford, Melier, whoever it'll be, they're ready to go for him as soon as all goes wrong, instead of actually assessing what's going on. Realistically, if you're going to have a go at anyone, you'd probably pick front three. You know what I mean? Calvert-Lewin is an easy one to go for, even though I think he's playing quite well. But at the end of the day, if you're getting your chance and not scoring him, let's go there. But, you know, it catches wind. It's like a snowball effect on Twitter as well. It's like everyone sees Pascal Strauch's name and it's like, oh, we all hate him. Do you know what I mean? Let's get him out and put Biol in. No, just I don't get. Does my head in. Sorry.
I just don't think we. I don't think we need. I just don't. I don't feel that we need wholesale changes. Something needs tweaking, and whether that's playing somebody closer to Calvert-Lewin because he's holding the ball up well, he's flicking the ball on well, and he's getting into the right positions. He's dominating his centre back quite a lot, and the fact that we're keeping him fit, and we do seem to. I'll use this in inverted commas, getting the best out of him without the goal return. I think he's still bringing a lot to the way we're set up this season. I just think when Okafor plays, he plays much closer to him, and Aronson drops, and we almost then have a midfield four behind almost those two. Jack Harrison doesn't offer you that. If you play Jack Harrison and Aronson at the same time, it's just so negative, and you don't have that person that attacking. That person who likes to get in behind and work off the centre forward, in this case, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So potentially it could have been a tweak. It could have been maybe change the formation a little bit, or maybe make sure that when we had the ball, one of the players moved slightly more central and closer to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That might have worked. We don't know. I just don't feel that based on the stats, which everyone seems to love until they don't suit them, is that things are going right, but there's something not going quite right because we're not picking up the right amount of points. And I think if we're calling for wholesale sale changes now, fair enough. If we weren't getting the ball in the box, or we weren't creating enough chances, and we were conceding 4 or 5 every game, then wholesale changes, take people out the firing line. I still think we do need 1 or 2 players to come out. I think Anton Stach probably isn't at his best at the moment, and we'd get more from Tanaka. But I just don't feel we need. I don't think we need to panic. Is what I'm saying.
Just needs a bit of rotation, Luke. Though, isn't it? That's like all it is. Like we have the squad there. Like I probably thought Stack should have came out for the game against Burnley because he didn't cover himself in glory against Bournemouth or Spurs. I thought he dropped below, and I hate using the word drop, rotate. Like I would have liked seeing Tanaka come in for the game against Burnley, but then had some of my comments saying, well, Tanaka's been away on international duty, so naturally he's going to start Stack. But I agree with you, say, Luke, as well. That's been one big thing for me, Calvert-Lewin, the last 2 games, is that I think he's playing really well. Just because he's not scoring goals as a section of the fan base, supposedly he's doing shit, but seeing him live against Bournemouth, and he was brilliant. His hold-up play, he occupies defenders, he brings our other players into play, but we just need to get someone closer to him. So go back to like what Paul said over the international break. Daniel Farke knew the situation with Dan James, knew the situation with Willie Nonto. So that's where I'd look to the manager a little bit and say, right, can we work on something over the international break? Maybe set up with your 4-3-3, and if it's not going quite according to plan, let's tweak it a little bit then. Let's push even Longstaff further up to give Calvert-Lewin a little bit of support in and around there, because there was a lot of times against Burnley, Calvert-Lewin was getting the ball and there was no one around him. He's 4 Burnley players around him, and he's never going to win in that situation. So that's where I'd look to the manager over the international break to tweak it at the moment, because we know the situation with the injured players. If you have Dan James and Willie Nonto and Okafor fully fit, you're not even talking about this, but you have to adapt to the situation. And the situation that we're in, unfortunately, is our weakest position is the wings. And that's where we're getting all our injuries typically. So that's where I'd look to tweak it a little bit. But yeah, then the game as a whole, look, some are going to say if you went to the 3-5-2, then you don't be as dominant, you don't get as much chances. But then if you're not going to score goals, you have to do something to try and change the game. So that's where I look at the manager a little bit. But the players do have to take a lot of the blame for that on Saturday, an awful lot. Like the midfield for me was non-existent. You had Longstaff dropping his level of performance of what we're used to seeing of him. Stack was way off it. Ampadu didn't really lead through the midfield. So you could kind of argue there that we maybe should have just pushed one of them a little bit further up to give Calvert-Lewin a little bit to kind of play off. And then, like what you said, Luke, towards the end of it when you're chasing the game, naturally that's what you're going to do. Any striker that's on the pitch, you're going to throw everybody on and try and get a goal. But yeah, if like what Joe, go back to the start, what Joe said, I think Friday night is massive now for Farke, and you're hoping now that we get some sort of result there. This feels like the first high pressure game now on Friday night, and you wonder if it's a negative result, what sort of reaction. If we're getting this now after Burnley, what happens on Friday if it doesn't go right?
Yeah, it's going to be long. I have faith in the way that the 49ers handled the Rangers situation, that they won't panic.
Yeah, but it's not Russell Martin. It's not Russell Martin, though, is it? Come on.
They kept hold of Russell Martin way longer than they probably should have, so I can't see them panicking anytime soon. But you also look at the way that they've appointed Danny Role. I mean, they've been on a right mad mission. I don't know if we can count on the 49ers to make the right decision moving forward, because even the job getting filled has been a bit of a nightmare at Rangers. So I'm not sure, but I don't think they'll panic, and nor should they. I think the fan base need not panic. It was just a shit performance on the day. I was going to ask you, Darren, you mentioned little changes here and there. And Farker will always bring it back to this. If he's getting quizzed by the board, he'll bring it back to it. In Farker's mind, he's probably gone, but we dominated the game.
Yeah.
Everything we did was right. We just didn't score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what you get from Fark. And it still does come down to recruitment. Absolutely it does, because we just haven't got the quality up there. And it's typical Leeds United, the one position that we didn't recruit well in, that's where we're getting all our injuries hit by. Like I said, I think if you had Dan James anywhere near the level we've seen of him last season, if you've Willie Nonto in there as well, we're not even having this conversation. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Joe. It does come down to the recruitment side of things as well. But I kind of promised myself when the window closed that I didn't want that to be an excuse right up until January, that ultimately Fark has been given the deck that he's dealt with, for right or for wrong. Some people agree, some people disagree, but he has to find a way of getting results. But at the moment, all the metrics are there that we're getting the opportunities, so we're just not putting the ball in the back of the net, and then that solely comes down to the players. But there's times where I look at Fark's in-game management, especially at half-time. I didn't think we had a particularly decent first half, where you're looking to maybe tweak it at half-time a little bit, maybe let the shackles off, like what Paul said, push someone a little bit further up, tweaking system, maybe personnel. He didn't do that. He came out with the exact same setup, exact same personnel to the second half, and I don't know about you guys, but I just knew it wasn't going to change. So that's where I look to Fark a little bit, to maybe change it a little bit earlier before it's too late, before they go get the second goal, and tweak it then.
Yeah. So, Luke, I'll come back to you. What changes, if any, do we need to make for Friday night's game? Because it is a massive game.
Yeah.
Obviously, West Ham play tonight. They've had 2 days less rest than us. They've got to travel up north and all that sort of jazz. So this fixture does really lean into Leeds, hopefully getting a positive result. We're trending at a point a game now. Ideally, if we get a win, we're ahead of that again and we can breathe a little bit. Do you make any changes, mate? Do you see Biol come in for Strout, which, a lot of people are asking for? I personally would like to see Tanaka come in. What we do on the wings, if I'm honest, I don't, unless Okafor and James are fit enough, I don't think he changes it. If I'm honest, listen, it wasn't a great performance, but I think anyway, that's for another day. Let's
go on, say it. Go on.
I don't think he's that bad. I mean, he wasn't great at the weekend, but he'll do a job, won't he? But that's me and my love for Jack Harrison, Haradonna, and all that sort of shit. But Luke, what are you changing?
I think I agree. I think Statch probably a bit of rotation in midfield probably gives us a little bit more oomph. So I'd probably look at bringing Tanaka in. Other than that, I'm struggling. I think if Dan James can give us 45, 50 minutes, then you start him. However, that means dropping Aronson, who I think has been all right this season. I don't think he's covered himself in any shame. I think the one I would be looking to drop, although he's probably putting square pegs in round holes, is Jack Harrison. I don't think he offers us a lot. And yeah, I'd stick with DCL. I'd stick with Ampadu. I'd stick with Longstaff. I think, and then the defense picks itself. I think at the moment, I would like to see Biol or more of Biol, simply because he's a shiny new thing that we haven't seen a lot of, that we've paid a lot of money for on the bench. Obviously, when he signed, there was all this. There was this narrative that he was I think the statistics actually backed it up, that he won one of the most headers in all of Europe's leagues, and that he was he's a big lad and all that. But can you really drop Pascal Struijk? I don't think he's done. I think he's.
Anyone would have you believe he's been absolutely shy, and he's not.
He's not been. He's not a lot. I think him and Good Munson, whatever you call it.
Just call him
Gabby. Gabby. I think they're both a lot to answer for in terms of full at Spurs and at Burnley as well. So sorry, at home to Spurs and at Burnley. But the fact that Gabby gets forward and does a lot, I think it gives him a little bit more credit in the bank, because he does work very hard in attack and gets forward and looks a little bit more dangerous. That's probably I'm probably only changing Tanaka, I think, unless we've got some more wingers back. I think that's the only change I would be making.
I
would love to change Harrison, but I just don't think we've got the options.
What do you think he does with the keeper, Luke, with Darlow? Because obviously, again, this conversation's going to come up closer to the week. Yeah.
Perry starts on Friday. I
think he will.
It's just humble opinion. I think if I'm not because Darlow's made any mistakes, it's because he's been bought to be the number one. So I have a feeling that he'll start on Friday. He's now Barker's got an excuse to do it anyways. But if I'm making changes, and I'm sorry, I want to bring Beal in, but that's just opinion wise. I'm taking Stack out. I'm putting Ampadu in. If Nonto is fit, like he's hinted that he might be for Friday, then if he is fit, then I would be putting Nonto on the left. And if Dan James is fit enough, I put Dan James on the right. Let them absolutely run at it, tear them to shreds for 50 minutes if they can do it, and then bring on Aronson and Harrison to just to sew up the game altogether. Keep DCL on definitely, because DCL is he's good. He's good for me. I haven't got any complaints with DCL apart from him just missing chances, but whatever.
Yeah,
they'll look to hit us on the break as well, Paul, won't he? With Bowen and Somerville down the wings as well, so that's where they're going to look to hit us as well. So,
and that
I don't know about
that as well.
Yeah, I don't know about Nanto, how fit. Like, Nanto's been out for a while now, Paul, so I'll be unsure of that from the start of how fit he actually is, and especially after the hernia operation as well. I know it's a quick turnaround from it, but how fit is he actually going to be and comfortable in his body? So I'm more hoping Okafor is okay. I'd rather have Okafor start if he is half okay, and if Nanto's on the bench, then maybe give him the last 10-15 minutes and work his way into it. But I agree with you as well. I would hate to see us starting again with Harrison and Aronson on the wings.
Can we all agree though that Romano needs firing out of a cannon? By the way,
you know what? It's more so his agent or Okafor.
Whoever's told that.
I've never got that.
Don't get it. How is it even newsworthy to tell everyone that he's injured, for fuck's sake? Do you know what I mean? Pointless. The bell end. Will he be fit for Friday, or is he missing that one as well? 7 to 10 days,
7 to 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, 7 to 10.
Hopefully 7.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, you need all of them.
100%, man. He'd have cooked Walker, you know. He'd give Walker a good game, man. Harrison.
Jack Harrison did not try to.
Hopefully 7 Ampadu days. 7 Ampadu days, which means 4 or 5 usually.
Yeah, Stark needs to come out for me. I think we need Tanaka in there. Thought he was fucking pants, man. I thought it was embarrassing seeing him. Do you know what as well? And this is how we are as a fan base, because I found myself doing it. We can all have a laugh and a joke about these silly Instagram posts, but if you're putting up stinkers like that, man, you'll get stick for it within our fan base. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, me and my missus like to do it. It's a little bit of fun. Yeah, but when you're fucking doing that, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to know about
it. Back it up.
In it though, yeah. Am I right? I found myself criticizing it on a video, and I thought, give it a rep. But then I thought, no, the way we are as a fan base. Oh, but he was dressed as Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. Yeah, but he was shit. So
don't be trying to catch them all if you can't catch them all, mate. Do you know what I mean?
No, he just gave up though, didn't he? That was embarrassing, man. When he just like this.
The run was horrific. The run when he's following the player back was just horrific.
Terrible, man.
Really, Mark Rocker vibes, lads. When I said it to Dylan, we were doing our watch along. He was giving me Mark Rocker vibes, just no energy, no kind of ability. He just looked drained as well, lads. Like it could be the pace of the Premier League. It's just caught up with him. But this is where Fark has to look at it and rotate them. I hate using the word drop. Just rotate them. We have the quality in there, and you would like to think if he starts Tanaka against West Ham, that gives Stack to kick up the hole to go, you're not getting this easy, because Fark has bigged them up a lot, hasn't he? And he's basically made him his new kind of pet alongside Ampadu. So you would like to think this will give him the kick to say, right, you need to up your game, because you can be very easily out of this team. Tanaka will come in and do a job.
100%. Boys, do you have, because my concern is, and I know we're all like banking on it, but I don't think I rate Nonto as much as a lot of the fan base. I don't know if he's if he's the answer. It's just my opinion. Dan James, he's not looked right all season. Are you not just worried that maybe our attack is? Are you not just worried that maybe our attack is just not of the level?
It's better than them two are better than what started on Saturday. That's for me. Like, I think the issue is with Nonto is, I don't know if it happened in that Fanalysis group chat actually this week, didn't it? That he's not been great all season. He hasn't been amazing. He's not set world of light, but he'll offer more than Jack Harrison. Like, that's just a fact. I think that Dan James is an interesting one because we signed him for 25 million quid or whatever it was. Didn't look great after the old massive transfer saga. Then we stuck him up top. He looked shite. Then we sent him out on loan. Did shite. Then he's come back to Championship and he's, obviously set well alight. But I think it is naive to almost expect him to continue that form into Premier League when we've seen him in Premier League before and he's not been great. But in the same breath, again, he offers more than Brendan Aronson going forward, don't you? You'd like to think so. Either way you look at it, it's an upgrade, I'd say.
Well, yeah. I just want to say as well, people giving it big licks in comments that speak to me offline. Stop, because you'll be getting told offline as well, you little gimp. But, so anyway, let's just leave that one there. But yeah, no, I agree. That they are improvement on what we've got. I just do worry that maybe. Well, January's massive for us. Yeah. January's absolutely massive for us. So we have to hopefully put that.
What would you go for in January? What would you have?
See, I don't think we'll go for a winger. I'd love a striker, but I don't see us going there.
A winger that can play tenor. Harry Wilson would be absolutely ideal for us because it means we can change the formation to play somebody directly behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin or somebody who can play out wide. It's just. And people will slate this signing, but Harry Wilson would suit us to a T. He would have suited us, and I can see exactly why they went for him. Yeah, he does, and I think for me, it's now if the result against Burnley, and not necessarily the performance, because I don't think, again, going back to what I said earlier, I don't think it was all that bad, other than the result. And I think if that doesn't show that we don't have enough quality in this side, whether it's the starting 11 or the backup if we get injuries, if that doesn't show the 49ers and they're really keen and they're serious about staying in this division, they're going to have to go out and spend some money. Whether we overpay on somebody, it could be the difference between finishing 17th and 18th.
100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
I have to. The striking situation's a worry, man. Every time Metch comes on, he looks busy, but I don't think he can finish. And his goal scoring record tells you that. I personally would say Pirro. I was speaking to a Sheffield United fan. I know they're not in great shape, but he said he'd take him. Someone at the top end. I know they're not at the top end, but someone chasing. I would sell Pirro, or at least try get some money.
You get 10 million quid for Pirro, surely.
You get more. You
get more.
You get 15
in January, definitely.
You get 15 because of him being Golden Boot last year.
100%. I mean, what did they pay for Tom Cannon? They paid a lot for Tom Cannon. Was that 18 or something like that?
It was close to 20, wasn't it?
He's only got a penalty, didn't he, as well as all season?
Yeah.
So if you can maybe move him on, I don't know who else. To be honest, do you know what pisses me off when you actually think about it as well, folks? On our bench, you had £10 million worth of James Justin. Why did we buy him? I'm sorry. We could have signed, and I know I kept saying it at the time, you could have given me Tanganga for $1 million and he'd have covered at right back and left back. You spent 10 million on James Justin. He's not even touching the pitch. You spent 5 million on Bornau, who against Sheff Wednesday looked like a bomb scare, has already been injured twice and can't get on sometimes in the match day squad. There's 15 million there. We spent 15 million on our attack, which was Okafor. The rest was free. The squad assembly is bad, man. Honestly, it is bad. I get, Perry's on the bench and people will say, well, we spent that, they should be playing, and I think they will. But I just don't see how James Justin is going to be worth 10 million to us unless Bogle gets injured. It just seems a bit of a mad one, to be honest.
See, this is the other thing, and this is what I mean with regards to adaptability. We know how good Bogle is as running up and down the wing. Why not put Bogle to right wing and then bring Justin in? Why not do that? And just give it a go. Not like for the entire game, just bring him on, just change it second half for the last 15 minutes and see what it's like. Does it work? And he could cover. Bogle,
he could have tried that over the international break though, Paul, couldn't he? Like, that's where he knows the situation with the winger, so try that there as well. And he likes defensive wingers, so what's better than a defensive winger than a defender?
I would have loved to have seen that just to see if it's an option. And again, I'm not one of the ones that wants to just take Aronson down all the time, because he's done exactly what he's needed to do in terms of when he's been in the squad. He's not let anybody down. He's played very, very well.
Let me ask you a question, Paul.
Yeah.
Do you know, let's say James is fit at the weekend on Friday, and he sticks with the 4-3-3. Would you rather him swap James for Aronson or swap James for Harrison and have James play off the left? Because if it's, let's say Okafor's not fit, but James is, how does that work? Do you? Because I think Aronson's.
I'm having James. I'm having James off the left.
Yeah.
Could you move Aronson left? Could you go James right and then go Aronson left? No,
you can move him left. I'd have James off. I'd have James off the left.
I think Dan James is too good off his right foot, and he doesn't know how to. He doesn't know how to use his left foot, basically. So I think for me, Dan James has to be on the right hand side. So we saw that when he came on the way.
Would you move Aronson? Would you move Aronson to the left?
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, Aronson seems to cut back anyway on his stronger foot to whoever's behind him. So why not do that from the left hand side? Let Dan James go at his left back and get the balls in, because that's what he was doing, and he did a lot of it. We were just unfortunate they didn't drop into the right regions and to the right players at the weekend, because he did it 2 or 3 times where he beat his man, the left back at Burnley, and he got the ball in. They were decent crosses.
Jack City speaking to me like offline as well. He was saying like Goodmanson and Harrison are the same fucking player, like in terms of what they try and do with it down that left hand side. So it might be worth getting someone different out there. I think for me, I'd rather we kept Aronson on the pitch, because as bad as his finish wasn't, that he actually offers us something. I think. I don't know. Yeah, true. Ought to know better. Bang on the money in the comments there. 70s channel T-Rex Bowie says, let's talk about our manager. Does anyone on the panel, and please say, is anyone thinking we need a change? Does anyone have a time frame? Is anyone in that ballpark? Because I see a lot of it online, but no one actually coming out and saying it with their own fucking guns.
I'm happy to say it with chest. He's now getting towards that.
Okay.
I'm not saying it needs to happen. I'm saying it's going to start to get towards that, and I think that should West Ham go wrong, it's going to get heavier, and the more pressure that falls in, this is it. This is what he's paid to do. He's paid to coach the team to get results, and we need to see that on Friday.
Would you back another manager to be able to get similar or better results with this squad?
No.
This is the thing. It's who, but then it's who do you bring in? It's who. I mean, mind you, were saying that Mancini turned down Nottingham Forest, didn't he? So we could go get Mancini.
Take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest. I've got to shoot.
Yes, mate. Enjoy football.
See you later.
Enjoy football. Luke's going
I
to
just think if you get
Roberto
Mancini in, what does he do to make Brendan Aronson put that chance back at net? What does he do to make Bogle not put it over at bar? Like, I can't get on this Fark bandwagon yet, because if we lose at weekend, they will be under pressure. But that pressure's from the fan base. Like,
I don't think they're even considering it, the 49ers.
I don't think they will either. I think they'd be silly to, personally. If worst goes to worst and you do get relegated, why then, you're doing a Sheffield United, then you're sacking bloke who can clearly do it. I think you get sacked this season if we play consistently shite, and it's on him, poor managerial decisions. But at this moment in time, I can't see the benefit to getting rid of him, because, it's not on him that Harrison are putting them chances back at net, and that Bogle put it over bar from a yard. I just think to get rid of him, it just be, if that continues to be like that, then it's still, I just don't think it's on him.
I think Michael's hit the nail. Go on, Darren. Just to say, like, staying up with this squad is a massive achievement for anybody.
Yeah,
staying up full stop is, given how the past 2 seasons have gone.
Yeah.
It just comes down to results, though, lads, isn't it? We know more than ever now with football. It's the results based business. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
if Fark does go, you'll have loads of people. I'm sure Joe will be in there saying he didn't get the recruitment that he deserved. But ultimately, the board aren't going to sack themselves. They aren't going to sack 11 players. So ultimately, if the results are going wrong, it's going to lie on the step of the manager for right or for wrong. So look, I think the next two look massive, lads. I think starting at West Ham on Friday night, I think if we can win there and relieve a little bit of pressure, look at Brighton is going to be so hard away from home, lads. Like I don't expect anything down
I've
there.
already written it off. I've already written it off.
It's bad saying that though, Joe, isn't it? It is tough because you never know with football. But like on paper, you're looking at it going, it's a very tough game.
We never win there.
It's one of them bogey grounds, isn't it? So I think like if you lose against West Ham on Friday night, I agree with what Paul says. Like we think it's bad now. I think it'll turn toxic, probably more so online rather than in the stadium. And then you go down to Brighton, a very tough fixture. If you lose 4 in a row, it probably maybe the 49ers aren't thinking about it now, but I think after 4 losses in a row, it probably does start to become a question then in the boardroom then as well. So, I think this feels like the first real high pressure game for Fark on Friday night. I think if he can win that or even get a point just to kind of stop the bleeding a little bit, but I think a loss could be detrimental, Joe.
Yeah, it'll be tough. I think. Well, I'd said this run of 4 games, which was Burnley, West Ham, Brighton, and Forest. I mean, 6-7 points would be fucking amazing, and that mean 2 more wins and a draw. I mean, 6 wouldn't be so bad. West Ham, we got to win. We've got to win. Will we? I don't know. Because
we know,
obviously...
but we know what Ellen Road's like under the lights. It's a Friday kickoff as well. It's 8 o'clock at night. I'm going to try and get there. So not saying that I make anything happen, but
if you don't get there and if you don't get there and we lose, I'm blaming you now.
Well, you see, the thing is that I need to get a ticket and then I need to turn up late because usually when I turn up late, we tend to score. Nice. So that would be kind of what I'm looking to do. What we need basically from this minimum is from this block of 4 games, we need 4 points. That's what we need minimum because it's that point per game that that everybody's kind of edging towards, which we may need a little bit more. But we've
now hit that, haven't we? We were ahead of it, but now we're on 8 points, 8 games. So a win gives us a little bit more cushion as well. But look, you can't win them all. We lost against Burnley. I will say, Sunderland got beat by Burnley a couple of weeks back. Look at them now, man. 4 wins, they're flying. So we can, I'm sure, get on that as well. Let's have some, before we finish, let's get some predictions for Friday night's game. Then, Jacob, I'm going to come to you first, broski. Friday night, under the lights, you'll be going.
Yeah, I'll be there, mate. I hate when it gets like this. It's just like you're not quite dreading it, but you're just dreading it a little bit. I 100%. Hate going to Ellen Road when it's that vicious, horrible, toxic atmosphere. And I hope for us, for Fark, for myself, that we get a result on Friday. Yeah. I am more confident at home. I think if you look at the last 2 home games, we should have got probably 4 points, at a minimum from those games. Yeah. And if you can just replicate that pre-international break form, wipe this Burnley, get it out of your mind, go into that game, I think we stand a real chance of getting a result. I can't say it's not conceding. I think, the likelihood of that happening is slim to none. So I reckon 2-1, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. We've conceded the first goal in the last 7 games for the first time ever in our history, I think, which is something that needs changes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that needs to change. We need to get back to defending well. Paul, how do you see it going, mate?
If we get off to a good start, I can see it being. I think West Ham have got a goal in them, but I can see it being 2-1 to us. I can see it. I don't know why. I can just see it being 2-1 to us.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see because obviously they play tonight against Brentford, and Nuno's had the international break and stuff. They might absolutely batter Brentford, and we'll be like, oh, you know what I mean? We'll wait and see. Darren.
I just hope we win, Joe. I'm bringing me little boy for the first time. He's buzzing the goal, so I'm hoping it's better. My first time in Ellen Road was a 4-0 loss against Sheffield United, so I'm
I
hoping
thought
he
you were going to
has.
say West Ham. Then I was going to be like,
say,
"Don't go."
Sheffield
go.
United back in 2005, so I'm hoping it's better this time for him and just a win. I'll take a 1-0, lads. I'll take a stinker of a performance and just a 1-0 win just to relieve a little bit of pressure. I said the same against Burnley, but yeah, just a win, any type of win. So I'll go 1-0 Leeds, last minute winner from Calvert-Lewin.
Boys, quick question actually. You just made me think there you'd take anything again. Had this 2-0 loss came against West Ham and we were going into the bed, would people's opinions be different, or is it because it was Burnley?
Yeah, I think it's because it was Burnley.
Yeah,
Burnley doesn't help. It really doesn't help when you look at where Burnley were. That was the opportunity to make it 7 points, and it's 1 now.
Yeah,
and
fair.
the shite. They
were.
I
kept saying
horrifically bad.
all we needed to do was up
Terrible
at a couple of levels and we'd have been better. Like, we'd have beat them. I was watching thinking, just come on, man, these are shit. It's so frustrating, man. So frustrating. Anyway, dust ourselves off, don't we? And we go again. I'm going to go for 2-0 on Friday. Let's make it happen, man. But that might change after I watch them tonight because...
after a 3-0 win.
I know, yeah. Look, we knew we'd be in a relegation battle, folks. We knew it'd go to the death. We've just got to hold our nerve and pick up points where we can. And Friday night's definitely a chance for that. I want to thank Darren from Only Leeds Bros, Paul from Leeds Therapy, and Jacob for coming on as well. Great to have different voices on. I'll be back later on. I'm going to do a watch along of that game because I have a keen interest in both teams because I think they'll both be down there with us. Join me for that in a bit, and make sure you go subscribe to all these amazing channels as well. Jacob's coming soon, no doubt, and we shall see. Oh, hang on, have I got a super chat that I've missed? Let's have a look. No, I haven't. Right, it was just one that we were on about rotating underperforming players, but someone touched on it earlier on anyway, so I just left it. But thank you very much for the comment, and we shall see you in a bit, folks. Bye bye.